Hey, do you want to come to Lisbon with me? Hi guys, we're in Lisbon.
Arrival into Lisbon.
Thank you. I'm only here for like 24 hours. Oh god, I nearly knocked this whole table over with all this platter of gorgeous sweet treats. Anyway, I thought we could spend some time together. I've literally just arrived. The room is fucking massive. It's very fancy that I've been put in. I literally walked in and go, wow. So thrilled by that. But given I'm only here for 24 hours, I want to get out immediately. I'm gonna have a little change, unpack, and then I just want to get out the door because I'm basically here for a conference that I'm speaking at called Web Summit. I'm doing 2 different talks tomorrow morning and then I'm flying home after. I was meant to be staying till Wednesday, but I cut the trip short to go home Tuesday. Boy, have I had a few weeks. Yeah. We'll get to it, we'll get to it. I want to literally dump my stuff and get out because I hate going on work trips where you don't see any of the city. I've been doing that so much recently and I just feel it's such a perk of the job to be able to travel. I want to be able to see the sights. I want to be able to tell you how good their coffee is. I want to be able to try a little sweet treat at a little cafe while watching people passing by. So I think that is the only appropriate plan. I'm gonna give you a little room tour. Look, you'll see what I mean. It's like a penthouse suite. If only I was a bachelor. Knock, knock, hi. Right, so you go through here. First extra points is for a separate place for the baggage to be, which I really like because once I've unpacked, I don't want to see my baggage ever again. I always try and find a hiding place for it. Niche, but true. Then look at this. Gorgeous. We've got wardrobes here, I assume. Wardrobes, always useful. Robes, delicious. This is the bed side of the room, and this is the entertaining side of the room, for which I will be entertaining myself and no one else. A little desk with all of my thingies on it. Some little sweet treats, of which I can have none. Some wine, of which I will not have because I'm simply not in the mental capacity. A gorgeously enormous mirror, and then through here, see, bathroom. We have a shower, oh, with the Lisbon tram on it. So if I don't get to see that tram, at least I'll have got to see it at like cooch level while showering. And then, oh, giant toilet and bidet station. So let's unpack. Do you want to see how I like to pack? Right, although I do have to tell you, you have to be nice to me on my methods here because I did go hand luggage, which means that my usual like wash bag and how I divide all of those things up isn't how I usually do it because I separated all my liquids so that those are all in my handbag. I like to pack with hangers and I feel that makes the biggest difference, especially if you are changing hotels during your trip or if it's a relatively short trip, because otherwise you live out the suitcase but then you end up having to repack anyway. So I usually pack in outfits on hangers. Compulsory optimistic packing of activewear. You know when you want to work out and you don't have anything to work out, and I feel like that's not a desirable situation. Little tech bag, little jewellery bag with 3 kilos of jewellery in for a 24-hour trip. Wash bag. This is actually my ideal wash bag because it fits a lot of stuff in, but then it hangs up, so you don't really have to take things out of it. Usually, ignore the bonnet on the floor. If I wasn't traveling hand luggage, I'd have like all my skincare in here, and then that just hangs up, and then you just zip it back up, and you don't really have to unpack anything. So you'll just have to use your imagination for that. This is to preserve the blow dry, which as you can see has not been preserved. This is my little sleeping pouch, which has melatonin, more specifically Let Me Sleep, and the Loop Dreams, which I actually cannot sleep without, genuinely hand on heart. And then a pink silk eye mask, and then mouth tape. I actually really don't like these mouth bow ones because those are the ones that they ripped my skin, I think because I use retinol. So do beware, be cautious. They can be vicious. Makeup bag, but devoid of liquids. Underwear bag with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pairs of socks. You never know what's going to happen. 5 pairs of pants and 3 bras. It's going to be a busy night. I bought this coat, but it's actually like 20 degrees. So I don't think I'll be using it, which means I've just carried it through the airport and on the flight. And then I'll just escort it back home. I've just done a load of research on where I want to wander because it's only like an hour or so until the sun goes down. I'm staying here by the park of Eduardo the 7th. Thank you, Eduardo. Right, so I'm here, and then I think there are lots of cute neighborhoods like around here, and then that's obviously down to the sea. You know what the sea looks like. Right, I've never used like saved maps before, but I've just saved a few things so I can know where they are on the map. And then who knows, I might come to Lisbon again and then do them again. Wouldn't that be fun? Right, so I'm gonna walk out here. I'm quite hungry, so there's this place called Pom that looks really cute. It looks a bit like small plate salad-y because it's 4:15, so I probably just need a small plate type view till dinner. I feel like that my original vision for this trip was that I would come and I would get gorgeous wine at a rooftop bar with my Kindle by myself. That is no longer the vision I have for it. The vision I have for it is self-care and seeing some sights, but not, I don't know, I feel like I always put the pressure on myself to make sure like I'm doing the right thing all the time. Like if it's sunny, I should be outside. If it's this, I should be doing this. If it's this, I should be doing this. Great examples, I know. And I just feel like, oh, I feel like I'm in Lisbon, so I should be doing this. But at the same time, you know, when it's like, that is not what I need right now. What I need is just and just getting through. So I'm gonna walk to Pom Eatery, which says it's gonna take 19 minutes. I think that whole area is called Principe Real. Very bad pronunciation, I have no doubt. So gonna go there, and then apparently there are lots of cute little like concept shops and everything around there. Then the botanical garden looks really nice. So let's go and see what we find. Nothing a small plate can't fix, eh? I also got so much work done at the airport and on the plane, so I'm feeling like it doesn't matter that it's 4:18, you're in a new city, you have a credit card, you have a botanical garden to visit, and that is a good enough life for me. Of the 2024 Latin.
Yeah, it was good, it was good.
Orange. How would you say it?
I don't know, to be honest. It's Ladidadi. Ladidadi, yeah.
I could get one other small plate, what would you recommend? Perfect, thank you so much. Some more mushroom pickles. I had the loveliest mooch. It was such a good mooch, like really sorted me out. So I was denied access to the botanical gardens, which was very sad. They say they're open till 5, but they don't let people in after 4:30, which is kind of understandable, but that was sad. You know, when you really need outside time, like I'm the type of person who really needs to be like outside, and I will know when I have reached my quota of acceptable outside time, and I just wasn't reaching my quota, but I was just walking around. And then I was like, well, I want to sit at a cafe and maybe get a little sweet treat. And then I was like, oh shit, it's like 5:30. That's not an acceptable time to get a sweet treat at a cafe, because all of the cafes were shutting and then all of the restaurants were open. So I thought, then do I want to have dinner out? And I thought, realistically, no, I want to have dinner in bed. I want to cozy up and I want to watch something. And I knew I needed to get work done, which I've now just got done, so that's good. I was like, I don't want dinner out anyway. Compromise of the century. Decided to have a starter out. And now I'm back, I'm gonna order some room service, which I feel like was pretty ingenious. I had a small plate as my starter and I read my Kindle and it was gorgeous, and it did make me think that I was very happy that I didn't just succumb to the need for comfort and like coziness, and instead, you know, really push the boat out. I did something daring tonight. I had a small plate at a small plates restaurant, and if that isn't courage, I don't know what is. I've now probably left it a bit too late to order room service, but I want to order room service and I want to enjoy my evening. I feel like usually on this type of work trip, I would always, I don't know, I have this real block, like mental block, when it comes to work trips and anything that's not working in the companies. Like when I'm working at Tarlet or Shreddy or 2PM or Retrograde, like that feels like my job. Everything else feels like I'm slacking on those things. I guess because there's always so much to do there that when I'm doing other things, that feels like almost a hobby, even though I know it's not a hobby, and that's kind of problematic, and I'm well aware that it's not a hobby. But I just feel like that's how I ended up getting really burnt out last year. I would see things like this and trips like this that were a job that I was being contracted to, and all of that so technically was work. I would see all of that as almost like on the side. I feel like I was trying to have 4 full-time jobs rather than knowing that this type of stuff that doesn't feel like work still is work, and I'm still allowed to count it at work. So yeah, I got very burnt out this time last year. I think you could see the beginnings of it in my Lisbon vlog last year where I had an absolute breakdown. My biggest problem, I think, as an entrepreneur is that I'm not a perfectionist at all. I do have high standards, and I also am very aware of how many eyes are on things that I'm doing. I try and be over everything, even if I'm not the one doing everything. And actually I just think that in the past that's meant that I wouldn't be surprised if people felt like super micromanaged, but at the same time I'm just trying to make sure that nothing blows up online, or I'm not doing anything wrong, or there's not going to be any sort of big fallout on anything. So I was trying to see every single thing before it went live. Like this time last year I was still approving every single Instagram post for all the companies, every single like shoot location, concept. I was just trying to do too much, and it was also a terrible way to run the companies because then the people who I've employed to do their jobs aren't getting enough autonomy and feel really micromanaged. So it was terrible for everyone. Anyway, so I got super burnt out this time last year. So I'm trying to actually see this as work, and therefore I don't need to arrive here and spend 6 hours on my laptop in a dark room, and actually see this as part of my job. So that's me. Lisbon is so beautiful. I would love to do a little girls trip here. It's very like East London, and much like East London, I absolutely love it. I also feel like I would never be able to live there because I'm just far too basic. Like I would walk around just knowing that I was bringing down the average coolness of the area, and that's not a burden that I'd like to bear. Although I did have an orange wine this evening. Oh, also I made a purchase. I went to that area, Principe Real. There were such cute concept stores and I wanted to buy a lot. Like the homeware was very, very cute, but I don't actually have any space in my suitcase, which is completely my fault because the amount of just in case stuff I brought for 24 hours is probably laughable. Anyway, really happy with these. It's a very adult thing to get excited about. They're like these really, really big mugs. Like look at that compared to my head. In my opinion, that is the perfect mug for like a fuck off cappuccino or a big old cup of tea. Also, I got back into making mug cakes. I've been making this apple crumble one from this book. I don't know why anyone makes apple crumble in a big dish, because it takes probably like 5 minutes every evening. Not that I should be having it every evening, but so highly recommend that book. I'll put it on screen now. It's literally just called Seriously Good Mug Cakes, and the apple crumble one is chef's kiss. Anyway, my 2 giant mugs that made me happy in the store. I was gonna get 2 different ones, and then I did think this colour was by far the nicest. We do actually need good new mugs, so it's not just a frivolous purchase, it serves a purpose. I have like a mug cupboard filled with just mugs that look like kind of Vistaprint mugs. Actually, one of my friends the other day opened my mug cupboard and said, I would have thought you'd be the type of person with nice mugs. So that tells you everything you need to know. We're likely moving house soon. I can't tell you how much has gone wrong in that process. Honestly, fucking hell. Obviously very, very lucky to be doing so, but the universe does not want us to move for some reason. I was holding off buying any homeware until then, but I thought, when in Lisbon, as the saying goes. So while I wait for my room service, I'm just going to do a little bit more work and then get into bed and watch something cozy. I actually really need a new girly show, like a show that you watch when your hubby isn't home. Tell me that's not a fire alarm. Should I evacuate? Oh. Well, that was pleasant. Yeah, really need new girly show recommendations, please recommend. I recently watched The Girlfriend, that was really good. Little bit thriller, a little bit, like I think Amar still would have liked it, but he didn't love The Perfect Couple, which was also that vibe, like a little bit shitty. like a little bit trashy, but still good. I loved The Buccaneers, which if you haven't watched it and you liked Bridgerton, you have to watch The Buccaneers. I think it's a lot better than Bridgerton. I've definitely been spending more time in bed than usual. I have just had the few weeks from hell. God, I don't want to be in fucking Lisbon again and have a breakdown on camera again. At some point you just then need to stop going to Lisbon. I've just had a really shit few weeks. Obviously we opened the store like 2 weeks ago, which was absolutely fucking incredible. Blown away by the response. Like literally the night before I was like, oh my god, no one's gonna come, just because we already have a store in London and I really wanted our second store to be out of London, but then that spot in the main atrium came up, and that's been like a dream of both mine because I grew up going to that Westfield, but also it's just such a good spot. Like it's such a good spot and those spots don't come up. That was obviously absolutely incredible, but like I was just going through so much shit at the time of trying to do that, and I feel like trying to go through that at the same time as trying to make sure that that was amazing, and also I was meeting so many customers at that time. God, I don't know why I'm getting emotional. I feel so much pressure, especially as the business owner and especially someone who's like online. I feel like I put a lot of pressure on myself because I went through so much shit that week. And I want to talk about this because it shouldn't be taboo at all, but it is obviously quite hard to talk about. Why am I already getting emotional? So I was pregnant. I was pregnant for like the past 3 months. And just before we opened the store, we lost the baby. I've purposefully like not been talking about it because I feel like, I don't know, I want to make sure that like when I'm showing up at work and for my team and everything, that it's like the normal, like happy, jokey me. We lost the baby on the day we were meant to be finding out the gender. I'm really glad we didn't find out the gender because I think that would have just broken me, like the future we were so excited for and I'm so sure we'll have again, and I'm telling myself that we'll have again. But just that like that 3 months of joy and excitement and looking forward to something that, you know, I didn't even know if I'd get to have, just because I'd been told like this time last year that I was going to find it very, very hard getting pregnant. So losing the baby and going through something so big and traumatic, and right before something that was meant to be so big and exciting, and also trying to make sure that I was coming across exactly how I wanted to come across to every customer and every new team member and everything. It's been a lot. I'm just going to be like as honest as possible about it because I feel like we don't hear enough stories about women who lose pregnancies and it's not spoken about. It is still taboo, and it's not rare at all. Like 1 in 3 pregnancies end in miscarriage, and I don't know, I think I was under this false sense of security just because by the time you get to 12 weeks it's like less than 1% likely, and I was just so holding that like 12 weeks in my head, like that's the moment that we've made it and we're safe and all of that, just because it was a really, really anxious pregnancy for me. I'm a very like in my head person, and it wasn't a situation that I could control in any way, and I really struggle with that. We went for our scan. We'd already had scan before and everything had been healthy and perfect and exactly as expected, and then we went for this scan and they just couldn't find the heartbeat anymore. The baby was still there, but it didn't have a heartbeat anymore, so it was no longer viable. And oh my god, that pain, like that moment, I just felt so sad, and I felt I shouldn't have, and there's no reason to, but like I felt like I'd let us down. I'd obviously broken Amar's heart in that moment. Obviously all he was saying over and over was like, it's not your fault, it's not your fault, please don't think it's your fault. But it was just having that when you've already like seen the heartbeat, you've already had the scan, nothing was meant to be wrong. Like my phone background was like, my body is made for this, nothing is wrong until a medical professional tells me it's wrong, just because, you know, being constantly in my head about it. But my body didn't pass the miscarriage. It didn't know it had miscarried, so I still had all my symptoms, like everything you've seen from me in the past 3 months. I was pregnant then, and I was really nauseous, and I couldn't sleep, and I was really lethargic, but I was so happy, like so excited, and so fortunate to get pregnant as well, I know. But because my body didn't pass the miscarriage and didn't know it had miscarried, I had to go into surgery the next day. Then I had to obviously like recover from it as soon as possible, and I still wanted to be there for everything. I wanted to continue my like countdown content. Like everyone in that team worked so hard. I just so didn't want to like let anyone down at the final hurdle. And I just feel like as a business owner, like the one massive downfall, and obviously it's so fortunate in so many ways, but you just can't control anything that goes wrong at the time where your life is also not going right. I can't tell you how many fires have had to be put out since then, and like how much has gone wrong since then. I just feel every single day I'm just like, fucking hell, like give me a break. I need to grieve, I need to recover physically. I also fucking got an infection from it. You can get septic from miscarriages, and I didn't, but I did get an infection. So I was back in hospital this weekend. I was out yesterday, so that was fine, and I knew I could still come on this trip and everything, but this is my first night alone, so it's probably why I'm a little bit bleh. When someone's told me before that they've had a miscarriage, and I'm one of my first friends to be pregnant, all I thought about was how hard and how much grief you would have to go through. I didn't think of all of the other things. Like I thought of them in passing, but I hadn't really put that into like, this is what you go through with a miscarriage. The hormones are fucking wild. My body still felt like it was pregnant for a very long time, which was really tough too. When I was having symptoms before, I was like, oh, that's a little baby. But the hormones are fucking crazy. If you have to have surgery, that's hard too. It's a proper general anaesthetic surgery with a significant chance of infection, which obviously I ended up getting despite following every single thing that I should be doing. One of my biggest regrets throughout the whole thing is that on the night after we'd found out, or maybe the night after the operation, I found the ultrasound pic. And I think because I was just so upset about the whole thing, and I know Amal was really upset about the whole thing, I just didn't want to find that another time, and I wanted to kind of like, I'm really good at just getting over things and moving on and not thinking about things. And just like I threw away that ultrasound pic. I just wish I hadn't. Like I wish I'd taken my time, and I wish I'd just put it away and just thought I could make decisions after, but I just wanted to like erase this and get on with my life and not have to go through this. Like I'm actually a very private person in terms of like, obviously I share my life and all of this, but I share a very select part of my life. You know, since when I used to do social media at university, I just wanted to make sure that like a lot of my life was kept for just me and real living, and never doing anything for social media or anything. But a big part of the reason why I wanted to share this is just like, there are so many things that I just would not have expected from going through this that ended up making me feel quite isolated, despite the fact that my friends were the most amazing people ever. Truly fucking incredible. Like I had 2 days that I had to stay on bed rest, and they did not leave my side. Like my friends would arrive at my house at like 7 AM and sit in bed with me and watch TV, or they would do work and just check on me and make me food and all of that. It was still very isolating. Onwards and upwards, I am fine, as much as I do not look fine, but I am genuinely fine, and it's actually been quite helpful being at work and like pretending everything's okay and all of that, because I feel like obviously people see you after and they're like, you okay? And I feel like if I acknowledge that, then I will burst into tears. But we have a busy time coming up, and the store went amazingly, and I could have lost the baby and the store went terribly, so silver linings. Can't try again for a while now, and that is fine. I think that's probably quite good. But I say that so you will not ask me, because I'm sharing this because I want to make it less taboo. Also, if you happen to be pro-life watching this situation in multiple states in America, I would not be able to surgically get the baby removed, therefore could have got sepsis and died. And just know that that is what you're voting for, and that is what has happened by overturning Roe v. Wade, alongside so many other things, including people not being able to decide to have an abortion, which my reviews remain the same, that they absolutely should be able to. But just in case anyone doesn't know, this would not be allowed. I would not have been able to have surgery to remove my miscarriage if I was in certain states in America. A doctor would risk jail time for it, I would risk jail time for it. It would be considered murderous, and that's fucking insanity. Anyway, if anyone dares to comment on something after this point, being like, oh, are you pregnant, just don't do that. Like, don't do that. It's such an anxious time trying to get pregnant, and then also when you are pregnant, the last thing anyone wants is people commenting being like, are you pregnant, I'm just such a big proponent for using your group chats for anything that most people feel like it's appropriate to say online. Separate sassy point, but fucking hell, guys, it's been a few weeks. I don't even have anything to fucking say. Was I expecting to open a store and have all the things that go wrong that did, and literally lose my baby right before? No. Was I expecting all those things to go wrong after that point? Based on my history of having a business, yes, I should have. But did I? No. I thought maybe the universe will give me a little bit of a break. I'm going to get into bed. I'm going to find a girly whirly show to watch. What have I downloaded? Oh, I watched the Alex Cooper documentary as well, which I thought was really good. I have downloaded All's Fair. I've downloaded The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives Reunion. I missed that episode. And Rivals, which I didn't finish, but I should have finished, and it was very good. Please send new girly shows. Right, I'm actually going to get into bed. Also, sorry for making this a sad vlog. It wasn't meant to be a sad vlog, but sometimes sad girls do sad vlogs. And then they go and speak at Web Summit. That's just the way the cookie crumbles. I guess the universe really did take these wedding weather bargains very seriously. I wish I'd read the terms and conditions. Thank you so much. Thank you. Have a good evening. I got a brownie. It's got something whipped on top. I love when they come in these little domes. Raring to go. I've got my pointy boots on, which means business. I'm really quite worried about my shirt because it is a gorgeous shirt. That's not why I'm worried. Basically, it's this shirt which I feel like is so nice. I've wanted a wrap shirt for ages because I feel like they're very businessy and the shape's great. Love. Anyway, so this does up here, but it has no buttons here. So every time I like okay, I probably won't be doing that move in my talk, but like even just like moving around a bit, I kind of look in the mirror and like, yeah, sorry to flash, but there's near a whole tit there. We're just gonna have to pray. If anyone sees footage of me at Web Summit with half a titty out, I can only apologise. Really, I should have a safety pin and then maybe I could pin it here. I just don't understand, like it's got clasps there, but no receiver of the clasps. Confusing. I've got a load of work done this morning, which I'm feeling really good about, and I'm gonna go finish that work. I want to have more of an explore. It's such a beautiful city. I'm obviously leaving today, and I just feel like that's going to give me the serotonin boost I need. So there's this breakfast place tomorrow at 9. It's a 5-minute walk away, so I'm leaving for my talk in probably about an hour and 20. So I'm going to walk there now. I'm going to have a cute little breakfast, a lovely coffee, hopefully there's something scenic to look at, and then I'm going to come back and go on my talk. I'm feeling fine. I feel like I'm past the depths of like true grief where every day feels shocking. I feel generally fine in the mornings. I sometimes find the evenings a little bit harder, but I just love some advice on like how you don't fixate on it. I'm a solver, like as a person. I'm the type of person who I want to solve things, I want to make them better, I want to guarantee myself success in an area, and obviously well aware that many women before me have found out that fertility and having a baby is just not an area that you can like guarantee success in. I have to look on the bright side. I worked so hard last year. It was a year since I was given the news that it was going to be hard for me to conceive, and I worked so hard. I changed every single part of my diet. I like massively reduced alcohol intake, no more caffeine, gluten and dairy free, like very whole food diet. I cleared up all my skin, my hormones were so much better, I was ovulating, I managed to get pregnant. Like that was such a huge win for my PCOS and not expected at all. And a year ago I wasn't even ovulating. So I've got to look on the bright side. I got pregnant, I can get pregnant again, and I know so many women have trouble on the other side of getting pregnant, and then lots of women have trouble with having multiple miscarriages. I hope to fucking God I don't have to go through that again. I feel like next time I do get pregnant, I'm not going to be excited about it. I'm going to be excited about it, but I'm going to be like stressed out my mind. And it's already very hard in early pregnancy to like not show any signs and still be full on your job because you're really sick, you're really tired, you're really fucking bloated. Oh my god, I'm a bloaty girl and I have never seen anything like that. Anyway, unfortunately we have work to do, places to be, people to see. Gonna go for a gorgeous breakfast in a gorgeous foreign city. I am so lucky. I'm gonna have a wonderful day and everything just works out for me and everything happens for a reason, and I don't know that reason now, but that reason will become so apparent, and I have the rest of my life to be a mummy. For now, I will just have to be mother of work and productivity. And doesn't that sound fun? Thank you so much. Thank you. Just to give you a picture of my luck at the moment, my heel has just broken. I was just walking along and look, so that's come undone. So every time I walk on it, it goes like this and makes my foot like fall over. It doesn't look like it's gonna snap off because I'd be really worried about, because then I'd have to go on stage barefoot. But I'm gonna have to limp everywhere. Thank you. Look how fucking big this is. Like we're in a football stadium. Creator entrepreneurship. Everyone's been building the businesses and sharing what I'm doing on the side completely authentically and completely based on, I don't actually have time to film content. Businesses, it feels appropriate for them to be running, and what standards we have for them. I do think that increasingly
started my first business at university, I guess, is the crux of it. It comes with self-trust when you prove to yourself over and over. You might not think this of me, but I've proven to myself how they can contract them the best practice when it comes to briefing and how they should actually be communicating with the brand.
So I just got back. I'm rushing a little bit because my taxi was 7 minutes ago. Get to the airport. I have plenty of time. I'm only flying hand luggage. It was all really good today. God, it's a fucking hectic conference, I'll tell you that. There's so many people. Last year I wasn't on the main stage, whereas like the main stage audience was fucking nuts. Yeah, so that felt fucking insane. And I was also obviously like hobbling on stage. The first step I took on stage was fine, and the second one was like, whoa. And so I just tiptoed around the whole day. My calf is gonna kill me tomorrow. But it is time to go home and go back to reality. Also, I truly did love that shirt, and I think I might try it again. It's from a place called Effie Cats. And I really wanted all the other colours because I thought it was so perfect. But I don't know, I was really flashing at it or whatever. And it got worse throughout the day, I feel like, because some of the little clasps came undone. We'll have to evaluate that situation. But for now, it is time to go. I hate having flight times at meal times. Like, it's now 1:39 and I've got to get to the airport, I've got to get through security. Like, I probably won't have lunch for another hour, and I'm not good at being hungry. That's something I can't do. This cardigan is the best thing ever. It's a crew neck version of the V-neck one we had before. I think it's actually coming out quite soon now. But you can like do it up like this, like that. And then I also feel like that can make it quite smart. Like, I'm just wearing a wide leg elasticated waist trousers at the moment, but you can make it quite smart with some suit trousers and everything. Anyway, not the time for a sales pitch. It's time to go. I've had a lovely time with you. I've had a lovely time in Lisbon. I love my small plates. I love my glass of orange wine. That was actually the first glass of wine I've had since being Progo. And I don't know, I've put that off for so long. Like, I put off drinking alcohol just because I have not felt mentally stable enough. And I did feel mentally stable enough last night, which, as you can see, turned out well because I ended up crying to you. But small steps, a little further every day. Que sera, sera. What else could we put on the t-shirt? Don't eat yellow snow. And with that, goodbye. And say well done to me for staying consistent with 2 monthly vlogs in a row. It's my new thing.